gonna start with Craig on this one, man. Craig, the Cleveland Browns are 9-3. they're not. They're 9-3. So on the level of 1 to 10, how impressed are you with the Browns?
I mean, I give them a solid. I'm gonna go 0.5 in there. I'm gonna go 7.5.
Okay.
I mean, they've been playing without Odell for a minute. He was the top wide receiver, even though he wasn't getting utilized properly, in my opinion. They play without Nick Chubb, their best back, even though they have Kareem Hunt, who's a pretty good backup, probably the best backup in the league. Myles Garrett was out for a while. They had to deal with inconsistent Baker Mayfield play, but they had a weak schedule. They have a weak schedule. They pretty much every team that they've beaten, out of besides Tennessee and Indy, have been under 500. Other than that, they're 2-3 against teams with a winning record. They lost to Baltimore, Pittsburgh, and Vegas. So I mean, this past week against Tennessee was probably Baker Mayfield's best game as a professional since he's been in the league. So, and that was a tough game. I mean, it was on the road, but no fans really. So, but the 9-3, they're pretty much they beaten who's on the schedule. They had to deal with a bunch of injuries and a bunch of COVID testing. People testing positive. I think Baker Mayfield tested positive, I believe. So they're just playing good football, at least right now. This is a big game this week against Baltimore. They lost to them first game of the season, like 38-6 or something like that. So it's a revenge game for them. They only got 2 more tough games, them in Pittsburgh. I didn't think they were going to make the playoffs, so that surprised me. But I mean, I'll give them only a 7.5 just because they haven't really played a tough schedule and they have a losing record against above 500 teams. But they did it with a bunch of people on the injured list, on the COVID list. And you got to give them credit, man. They're actually playing better than I thought they would be. I didn't think they'd be a playoff team this year, but they surprised me. So, props off to them.
Yeah. All right, Mo. What do you think, Mo? Browns. What do you give them? They're 9-3. 1 out of 10. What do you give them?
I give them an 8, and I'm gonna say this, and this is the reason I'm gonna give them an 8. Because of if they had the same coach, I would lower it. But because you got a first-year head coach who's never been a coach before in the midst of COVID, I give them that factor. I give them that due. I give them that due. What I would say is, and I'm a firm believer of this is, and I might laugh when I say this is, I would hope so. When you were drafting in the top 10 for the last 15 years, eventually something got to shake here. Something got to shake. You know what I'm saying? Something got to shake for you when you've been drafting the top 10 for all these years.
Yeah.
So it's good to see, and I think it's good for the NFL, and I think it would be better for the NFL imagine if they was 9-3 right now and it wasn't COVID. The NFL will really market off of this right now because we're talking about Cleveland. Those dog pound fans, the NFL will really market right now off of Cleveland's success if we weren't in the midst of COVID. So I think it's a good thing. Do I think Cleveland in a one-game scenario could beat Pittsburgh or Kansas City? I struggle with that. But do I think they're dangerous in the first round? Yes. Do I think they can beat Kansas City or Kansas City or Pittsburgh? I don't know about that right now. I really struggle with that.
All right.
But I am impressed with what they've done so far. I am impressed.
All right, Joe. What do you 1 out of 10, Joe? What you got?
Yeah, I'd give them an 8 as well. Like Mo said, they've been drafted in the top 10, 15 for my lifetime. Seems like they finally put some pieces together, got some things going for them. To go from that to a 9-3 team is pretty impressive. They're only 2-3 against winning teams, but that means they've beaten everybody with a losing record. Winning the games you're supposed to win makes a difference between them and the Raiders right now, who have won a couple big games but lost a couple garbage games and barely squeaked out against the Jets. So to be doing it with a Baker who's had his up and downs as a quarterback, first-year head coach, Everybody's dealing with injuries and COVID issues, but they've been able to push through it. The only reason it's only an 8 is that 2 of their 3 losses have been blowout losses in the division. They lost to both the Ravens and the Steelers by I think 30 points. It's not ideal, but Browns this year compared to every other year, other than that one year with Derek Anderson, light years ahead. So
Yeah.
8.
I gotta agree. Gotta give it. Craig is right. He wasn't gonna give him 8, but I knew he was. Gave him 7.5. But I kind of agree with everybody. This is the thing, all right. You give Baker Mayfield a defense, and you give him a running game. Their head coach kind of coached that Case Keenum, Kirk Cousins type of quarterback, which Baker Mayfield is, in my opinion. That's the profile he fits. He needs a running game. He needs, an offensive scheme where it's, you feel like it's based on timing versus like arm strength. And they run the ball a lot. That's a really good first year head coach. He came in during COVID. Nothing's regular. The Browns are 9-3. I mean, that's good. And this is a team you don't want to play in the playoffs, man. That running game matters. Running the football matters this time of year. And they have the Ravens just took them over because they played Dallas, who is the worst rushing defense might be in history at this point. But before the Ravens were number 1 in rushing, Cleveland was. And they're utilizing Kareem Hunt and they're utilizing Chubb. And they're letting you know they're going to run the ball. And Myles Garrett is playing good. And Baker Mayfield probably paid his way to an extension this year. So he's up for it. They're probably going to give it to him.
A lot of this stuff is all play action, though, and I think that's what benefits him. He's not a guy that's going to kill you just dropping straight back.
He's that Kirk Cousins, Case Keenum. He needs a running game, man. That's what he needs. Hey, listen, that's a great head coach and a great quarterback that fits it. They fit each other.